Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Once again, another Google Pixel 4 XL comparison, and this time we're going to be comparing even standard Google Pixel 4, just the whole Pixel 4 line, versus the Pixel 3a line. Now, what's interesting is Google is still selling the Pixel 3a as well as the 3a XL, and I feel like it's kind of important to look at both of these phones and see what the main differences are between them. Because in reality, the differences between the Pixel 3a and the 3a XL are almost the same exact thing between the 4 and the 4 XL. There's really not that many differences. The main difference really relies on the size of the screen. Besides that, all the core features of the 3a and 3XL and the 4 and 4XL are on both phones. So I figured I might as well compare both of them. So the biggest difference probably is the outside. As you can see, the Pixel 3a does have a little bit more bezel on the front than the Pixel 4. The Pixel 4 has a 5.7-inch POLED display. That one is 1080p. The Pixel 4 XL has a 6.3-inch 1440p panel, and both panels are very good, but the Pixel 3a has a 5.6-inch panel. That one is 1080p. That one is also OLED, where the Pixel 3a XL has a 1080p panel, but that one is 6 inches, so the 3a XL has a bigger panel than the Pixel 4, but it's still a smaller panel than the 4 XL. The screen to body ratio is obviously higher on the Pixel 4 and the 4 XL, but it's still not that crazy of a difference in my opinion. I think both phones do look very, very good. On the bottom, we have USB Type-C on both phones. And looking on the back, you can see we have the fingerprint sensor on the Pixel 3a, or on the Google Pixel 4, there's no fingerprint sensor at all. We only have that Face ID type function, which some people might like, some people might not. Me personally, I don't really like it that much. I kind of wish there was some type of fingerprint sensor, so in my opinion, I feel like the Pixel 3a has a 1-up here. Is it a crazy thing? Not really, but for me, I kind of wish there was something there. As you can also see, we have a dual camera setup on the Pixel 4, a single camera setup on the Pixel 3a, and I definitely do think the Pixel 4 has a better build quality overall, but the Pixel 3a is still, not bad, especially when you look at the price tag. That thing isn't selling for as much as the Pixel 4 is selling for, so it's totally understandable. And really, when you're looking at the outside, that pretty much covers up all the differences. There's really not too many differences. There's a lot of similarities between them, but I think the Pixel 4 probably is the better built one overall. But the coolest thing about the Pixel 4 that the 3a does not have, and also a lot of phones in the market don't have, that 90Hz refresh rate for that display. So the Pixel 4 has it, the 4 XL has it, and neither the 3a or the 3XL have that feature, and I think it's a super awesome thing. It just refreshes the screen so much faster, and it makes the screen look super cool. A lot of phones in the market don't have it. Eventually they are going to import it in, but I definitely do think that is a humongous advantage for the Pixel 4 and the 4 XL. There's no IP certification for the Pixel 3a or the 3XL, where the Pixel 4 and the 4XL have IP68 dust and water resistance. The Pixel 3a and 3XL might be a little waterproof, but there's no way to verify that. There's no IP certification on it, so that pretty much covers it up in terms of the outside. Some major differences for sure, but they look kind of the same from a distance. But owning the 3a and the 4, I can tell you the 4 I think definitely feels more premium. There's also some heft to it when you're using it in the hand. The 3a, in my opinion, felt kind of a light in a way. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just making it up, but for me it kind of just felt lighter in the hands. The Pixel 4 does feel a little bit more heavier in the hands for sure. So that pretty much covers that. In terms of software support, this is where things get a little bit interesting, because the 3a and the 3a XL came out after the Pixel 3, which is supposed to be lasting one less version of Android than the Pixel 4 and the 4 XL, but the Pixel 4 started off with Android 10 as the newest device. The Pixel 3a started off with Android Pie though, and I'm pretty sure, even though it just came out maybe like a couple months ago, I'm pretty sure it's still not going to last as long as the Pixel 4. I think Google is going to push the same updates on the Pixel 3 as it does on the 3a, so I don't think it's going to go last any extra version or anything, even though it lasted longer, even though it came out newer or whatever. I think the Pixel 4 XL is still going to last longer than it, but like I've stated before and I'll say it again, Android is so beautiful in the fact that you can root it, you can custom ROM it, you can go super far with the device with third-party development support. So what that means is, and you guys already know this, you can go root a Pixel 3a, 3XL, and even when it's done being supported, let's say Android 11 is when it stops for some reason, you can go and, if somebody makes an Android 12 ROM, you can go and port Android 12 to your 3a or 3a XL if you want to. So you can kind of match the same versions that the Pixel 4 XL has with that capability. Now on stock software support, obviously the 4 XL will probably last longer, but in terms of that third development party support, I think that's really awesome and a super awesome thing about Android overall. So even though it's not going to last as long as a 4XL, it's kind of still going to last as long with the help of some developers. So say what you will, I think it's really cool that that's the case, and I think that's a huge feature for both phones really. Stock Android for both of them, there's nothing too crazy, so a lot of developers for both of these phones. So In terms of software support, stock software will last longer on the Google Pixel 4 XL, but still the 3A and the 3 XL are going to be phenomenal devices without a doubt. Now moving on to the performance side of things, the specs are almost the same across the board for both the smaller variants and the taller variants. For the Pixel 3a, we had the Qualcomm Snapdragon 670 chipset, an octa-core CPU, and Adreno 615 GPU, and there was only one variant of the Pixel 3a. It was a 64GB variant, which I don't understand why they made it so small. It was kind of dumb. But that variant has 4GB of RAM, where the Pixel 4 has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset, an octa-core CPU, and Adreno 640 GPU, with two storage variants, 64GB and 128 base top storage, with 6GB of RAM. Now, what I can tell you is, in my opinion, I don't know why Google only made the max storage variant 128GB. That makes no sense at all. They should have made it at least 256, with the base model being 128. It's completely crazy what they did with that. But with that RAM, you do get 2 additional gigabytes of RAM, which is super nice. And what I can tell you is with the 3A, I didn't feel like I had a slow device. I didn't feel like it was super, incapable of anything. I felt like it was good enough. That Snapdragon 670 was definitely kind of weird. I think it was definitely a weirder choice, as well as the Adreno 615. But they put the same amount of RAM in this phone as they did with the 3 and the 3 XL. So I didn't think they really skimped out on it that much in terms of the performance, but still they kind of did at the same time. But when I was using it, when I was going through things, it felt like a good device. It felt like it was fast enough for my usage. I didn't feel like it being super slow, but with the 4 XL, I can tell you, I definitely do think it is fast. I think it's definitely a fast phone, but even after some of my other comparisons, like comparing it to the iPhone 11 or even the Galaxy S10, dude, I don't know, dude. I think the 4 XL probably could have done better had Google managed it a little bit better. Maybe if they put a better chipset in it, because they have the new Snapdragons now. So they should have probably put something in there newer, in my opinion. I don't think it's a slow device at all, though. 4 XL is, I think, faster, obviously, than the Pixel 3a, but I still think the 3a is a really good value in terms of performance. When I was doing intensive gaming, when I was doing anything with it, I felt like it was very, very good for my usage. I didn't think it was really bad. With the Pixel 4, I find it to be more of the same, really. I don't feel like it's super slow. I don't feel like it's amazingly fast either. That 90Hz refresh rate, though, is kind of cool in my opinion, because it gives the facade that it is faster when it's probably the same speed. So say what you will, but I think the performance is better on the Pixel 4 XL, but still very good on the Pixel 3a as well. Now moving on to the camera, I'll tell you straight up, both cameras are very good on all these phones. I think they're very, very phenomenal. We have a single 12.2 megapixel sensor on the 3a with optical image stabilization, where the Pixel 4 has a 2 camera setup, a 12.2 megapixel sensor, and a 16 megapixel telephoto lens. And I definitely do think in terms of quality of the photos, maybe the 4 XL is better. I will have to do a comparison here soon. I'll do a full-on camera comparison very soon, so keep it locked down on the channel so you guys don't miss that. So in terms of the sheer quality and the whatever, it's going to be exactly the same. You have that telephoto lens on the 4 XL, which is cool. You have the telephoto lens on the 4, which is cool. But here's the main thing. The video resolution still has not changed, even from the 3A or 3A XL, even from the original Pixel. You can still only do 4K at 30 frames per second, which is very weird. I don't know why they did that, when so many competitors can do 4K at 60 frames. I personally, like I've stated, I don't even use 4K, but I know in the future I'm going to switch to it. And having a phone that, it prides itself on the camera for the most part, it still can even catch up to the competitors. So the quality might be better, everything might be better, but if it can't just film those video resolutions, then it's just kind of like taking it out in my book. So I don't know, that's kind of something that I've been thinking about, but it's not that big of a deal, but it is kind of weird. Even the front cameras are exactly the same on all these phones, so in terms of the camera quality, definitely better on the 4 XL. You have more features, but the 3A is still very good in my opinion. Now hitting on the battery life, this is where it's just kind of all over the board here. The 3A XL and the 4 XL have pretty much the same battery life, with the 3A XL, in my opinion, having better battery life. But the 3A and the 4 have smaller batteries. The 4 has a smaller battery than even the 3A. We have a 3000 mAh battery on the 3A, but on the Pixel 4, the smaller variant, we have a 2800 mAh battery, which in my opinion is completely crazy. I don't know what they were thinking. Why would they put a smaller battery in the more expensive model of their phone? I don't understand what they're thinking. In terms of battery, I think both models of the 3A and the 3A XL will have better battery life than the 4 and the 4 XL. So the XL will be the XL, the smaller variant will be the smaller variant for both of them. I don't know why they did it like that. I think they could have done a way better job with the battery life, but I don't know. I still think you're going to get decent battery life, but stock Android and all this, but the 3A and the 3A XL, in my opinion, will have the better battery life for sure. So that kind of covers up everything I wanted to hit on. Now to kind of break it down, the 3A and the 3A XL are still phenomenal devices. They're very, very good value per dollar for sure, especially if you want to go buy them in the used market. They've depreciated quite a bit there too, not as much as I wanted them to, but they've depreciated more so than not. So you can go pick one up for maybe like a couple $100, which is still way less than the cost of a brand new Pixel 4 or a used Pixel 4, whatever. I still think that is a very tremendous value, the 3A and the 3A XL. I think the 4 and 4 XL, I think those are good phones and everything, but they're just asking way too much money for, what they're gaining basically. With the 4 and 4 XL, believe it or not, Google sent me the Pixel 4 to review, and they just wanted us to be honest with it, which I'm really happy. They didn't sponsor these videos or anything, so I can tell you without a doubt, the Pixel 4 is a good phone. The 4 XL, they're both very good phones, but I think they're just asking way too much money for what they are. I still think like an iPhone 11 is a better value per dollar. I think a used Samsung Galaxy S10 is a better value per dollar than a Pixel 4 or a Pixel 4 XL. But between these two, the 3A and 3A XL, in my opinion, are better value per dollar phones, with the 4 and 4 XL being the better phones overall, I guess, but that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. Still don't mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.